A few days ago, I met a young woman who, facing a changing immigration system, had made the incredibly difficult decision to pack up her life and self-deport back home to Haiti from the United States. Having spent most of her life in America, she was returning to total uncertainty. As we talked, she said something that stopped me in my tracks. She wasn't asking what I have lost. She was asking, what do I still have? That one question made me realize something many of us forget when life changes overnight. The greatest power a person carries is rarely found in a bank account, a passport, a job title, or even a location. True power lives deeper than that. It lives in what hardship could never steal. And today we're going to look at 3 powerful tools from Haitian, Jamaican, and Ghanaian cultures that will show you how to unlock that same unbreakable strength in your own journey. Welcome back. I'm Angie Marie, and if you're new here, I'm super happy to have you. On this channel, we discuss timeless lessons from cultures around the world that help us live with courage, purpose, and hope. If that sounds like your kind of community, I'd love for you to subscribe so that you don't miss out on our weekly content on culture, healing, mindset, and resilience, as well as our Monday morning and evening affirmations. Now let's talk about where true power lies. Let me give you a bit more context about the young lady I mentioned earlier. Having spent most of her life in America, the US was truly her comfort zone. It was where she went to school, where she worked, and where her closest friends and familiar routines were. America was home as she knew it. Now she was returning to uncertainty. So returning to a country she only knew by heritage, especially as an adult, is a transition that would shake almost anyone. But what is truly beautiful is how much we can grow by simply observing the wisdom that this young woman and the 3 incredible cultures have to offer. So let's dive into tool number 1, identity, the power of your roots. If you've watched movies like Moana, The Matrix, The Lion King, or Good Will Hunting and similar movies, you've seen a powerful theme repeated again and again. Characters often unlock their greatest strength only after discovering who they truly are. Cinema constantly reminds us that there is incredible power in understanding and embracing our identity. But you know what? While these stories are told on a screen, we see the same profound strength in the real world every day. Even as new immigration challenges continue to shake people's confidence, many continue standing strong because they carry something that hardship cannot take away. Their strength is rooted in knowing exactly who they are. When you know who you are, where you come from, and what you carry within, you begin to move differently. You stop allowing challenges, opinions, and circumstances to define your worth. You begin to recognize strengths that were there all along. So the next time you hear a Haitian proudly speaking about Dessalines, Christophe, or the extraordinary story of their nation's fight for freedom, the next time you hear a Jamaican sharing the stories, struggles, creativity, and achievements of people like Marcus Garvey, Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, Shelley and Fraser Price, and many others, the next time you hear a Ghanaian talking about their Ashanti kingdom or their resistance against British rule, understand what you're witnessing. You're witnessing identity. Not simply a remembrance of the past, but an internal resource that grows stronger when it is understood. It is the strength, wisdom, courage, and values carried forward by those who came before us. And when people truly know what they carry, they become harder to break. This is why people can migrate with very little and still build extraordinary lives. It is why others can return home with almost nothing and begin again. They may not have many external resources, but they possess an inner resource that no one can confiscate, destroy, or dilute. Very often, people measure a nation's power by its economy, military, technology, or natural resources. Of course, those things certainly matter. But history has taught us something remarkable. Some of the strongest people have possessed very little of those things and yet refused to be broken. Why? Because there's another kind of power that cannot be measured on a chart. It cannot be confiscated at a border. A hurricane cannot destroy it. It lives inside the people. And one of its greatest expressions is identity. Not pride, not arrogance, but the quiet confidence of knowing who you are when life becomes uncertain. Tool number 2. Resilience, the power to rebuild. True power is the ability to keep building when yesterday gave you every reason to quit. Think about Haiti, Haiti. Around the world, conversations often focus only on their struggles. But Haiti, Haiti is one of the greatest examples of endurance on earth. Earthquakes, political instability, and economic setbacks would have convinced most people to stop dreaming. Yet parents still sent their children to school. Small businesses still open. Hope continues showing up every single morning. That is not weakness, that is extraordinary strength. And then there's Jamaica, my own country. Growing up, I saw a remarkable ability to laugh through hardship without pretending that hardship did not exist. We sing, we create, and we find joy without waiting for the perfect circumstances. That joy is not denial, by the way, it is resistance. Every song reminds us that difficulty will not have the final word. So joy itself becomes our shield. Tool number 3 is so very important, guys. Communities that don't have this usually have a big problem. First of all, they have a big problem with other people who have it, and they have a problem with themselves. So tool number 3, community, the power of togetherness. Real power is protecting the shared values that tie us together, proving we were never meant to walk alone. Think about Ghana. For centuries, external forces tried to erase languages, customs, and even names. Yet somehow the spirit of welcome remains. The respect for elders remains. Hospitality and deep community still live there. Why? Because generation after generation chose to preserve the collective bond. And I want to say something to you now, guys. When you hear me speaking so passionately about these countries, these cultures, it's not just theoretical. I really look at these countries and learn a lot and gain inspiration and motivation. Whenever I'm tempted to feel down or hurt about something, I look at Haiti. I have to. You hear something on the news and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if that was my country, how would I feel? Then I go and look at my Haitian community and what do I see? Yes, they feel hurt. Of course they feel hurt. They're human. But guess what? They still dance. They still laugh. They still support, they still feed, they still move together, and they stay positive and calm. It helps. Likewise with Ghana, and it's the same with my own country, Jamaica. So when you hear me speak, I encourage you to take your lessons from this because they're for real. It's about survival, it's about mindset, it's about positivity, and it's about continuing to keep going. We see the same spirit when families in Haiti as well as Jamaica would share the food they have no matter how small it is. This teaches us that true power isn't individual, it is communal. When we protect each other, we become a force that cannot be broken. When I step back and look at all these cultures together, I don't see perfect nations. I see people who repeatedly discovered that what matters most could never be taken from them. Wealth can disappear, buildings can collapse, governments can change, opportunities can come and go, but character, wisdom, courage, faith, creativity, compassion, and hope continue traveling with you wherever you go. Maybe that's why the young woman I met left such an impression on me. She wasn't beginning with nothing. She was beginning with everything that truly mattered. She still had her experience. She still had her faith. She still had her ability to work. She still had her willingness to learn. She still had her courage. These are the foundations on which lives are built. And so here's the question I think all of us should ask during difficult seasons. Instead of asking only, what have I lost? We should also ask, what still remains? Do you still have your integrity? Do you still have your kindness? Do you still have your ability to solve problems? Do you still have your compassion? Do you still have your relationship with God? Do you still have people who love you? Always. Do you still have wisdom gained from all the experiences you've had? Do you still have the wisdom gained from every challenge you've overcome? If the answer is yes, then you possess more power than you realize. Sometimes the world convinces us that power belongs only to those with influence, wealth, or status. History tells a different story though. The people who changed generations were often those who refused to surrender the invisible things. They protected hope, faith, family, wisdom, and culture. They protected the belief that tomorrow could be better than today. So wherever you find yourself today, whether you're rebuilding in Haiti, pursuing new opportunities in Ghana, working hard in Jamaica, starting over in the United States, or finding your way somewhere else in the world, remember this: your greatest strength has never been what you own. It has always been who you are becoming. This is where true power lies. And as long as no one can take that from you, your story is far from over. Thank you so much for watching. I trust you got some value from this video and that it helped you. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and hit subscribe. Remember to watch our weekly affirmations. If this message encouraged you, I'd love to hear what hidden strength has carried you through your own difficult seasons. Share it in the comments because someone may need to hear your story today. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of one another, and never underestimate the quiet power that already lives inside of you. This is Angie Marie. Let's meet soon in my next video.